First of all, I would like to share my screen. Okay. Sorry for the interruption, students, due to network issue. I was out. So for one more time, I would like to share my screen to you. As we have started the lecture, that is third part of our lecture. Yeah. So we will move further today to the topic that is RNA. In our previous lecture, we have seen all about the different topics, that is DNA, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid. Then we have seen about the structural formula of the structure of an DNA. Then we have studied about the genes. Then we have seen the project that is Human Genome Project. Then we have seen the topic that is DNA fingerprinting. Now moving further towards the topic that is RNA. Now what is an RNA? What is the full form of our RNA? Ribonucleic acid. What is the full form of RNA? That is, it is an ribonucleic acid. Now RNA is the second important nucleic acid of the cell. This nucleic acid is made up of ribose sugar, phosphate molecules, and four types of nitrogenous bases, that is adenine, guanine. So in the structure of RNA, what is the difference? What is the difference here? The difference is that in adenine or in DNA, what we have seen, what are the four major nucleides are there? Adenine, guanine, and cytosine and thymine. But in RNA, there are some changes. That is, instead of uh, thymine, in RNA, there is a presence of uracil. What it is? The presence of uracil. So, the nucleotide, that is smallest unit of the chain of the RNA molecule, is formed by the combination of ribose sugar, phosphate molecule, and one of the nitrogenous bases. So, the large number of nucleotides are bonded together to form the macromolecule of RNA. See in the structure, this is the structure of what? This is the structure. What is the structure? See. See, this is the structure of an DNA. Yeah. Sorry, this is the structure of an RNA and this is the structure of DNA. Okay. See, but here cytosine, guanine, udanine, and adenine and uracil is present. But in the case of DNA, here what are present? Cytosine, guanine, adenine, thymine. These are the what? Nucleobases of DNA, and these are the nucleobases of RNA. Only the changes are in DNA, thymine is present, and in RNA, uracil is present. So moving forward to that, that is RNA is the second important nucleic acid of the cell. This nucleic acid is made up of ribose sugar, phosphate molecules, and four types of nitrogenous bases, that is adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. The nucleotide, that is the smallest unit of the chain of RNA molecule, is formed by the combination of ribose sugar, phosphate molecule, and one of the nitrogenous bases. Okay, so the large number of nucleotides are bonded together to form the macromolecule of RNA. Is as in the terms macro only you can understand, macro means huge, micro means small. So the large number of nucleotides are bonded together to form the macromolecule of RNA. So now moving further, according to functions of this RNA, there are three types of RNA. According to function, there are three types of RNA. And what are they? The first type is ribosomal RNA, that is rRNA. Second is messenger RNA, that is mRNA. Then Third one is transfer RNA, that is tRNA. Okay. Now, what is the first one? Ribosomal RNA. Second is messenger RNA, that is mRNA. Then the transfer RNA, that is tRNA. Now, moving further, we will see in details about the, first of all, we will see about the messenger RNA. Now, what are these messenger RNA? See in this picture, you can see in your pictures in your textbook also. See in the picture, messenger RNA. Its small form is mRNA, and it carries what? The copies of the instructions for assembling amino acids into proteins. Means the name only indicates that what is the work or what is the function of the messenger RNA to carry the what? Instructions from assembling amino acids into proteins. So the RNA molecule that carries the information of protein synthesis from genes, that is DNA chain, in the cell nucleus to ribosomes in the cytoplasm, which produces the proteins, is called as messenger RNA. What are our messenger RNA? The RNA molecule that carries the information, which carries the information of what? Protein synthesis. From where? From the genes. And where is the genes? That is DNA chain, which is present in the cell nucleus, and it carries this message to whom? To ribosomes. And where are these ribosomes are present? Ribosomes are present in the cytoplasm. And what is the function of these ribosomes? They produce what? The proteins. So they are called as a messenger RNA. This is the first type of RNA, that is a messenger RNA. Moving to the next slide, that is a next type, that is ribosomal RNA. And how we write it? If we write it as an rRNA, rRNA. So see in the pictures what we can see. RN proteins are assembled on what? On ribosomes, which are made up of ribosomal RNA. And what is the function of this ribosomal RNA? The molecule of RNA, which is a component of the ribosome organelle, is called as ribosomal RNA. Component means what? It is a part of this RNA. Okay. So what is the function of this? Ribosomal RNA helps to build the actual protein. Actual protein, it is made up of made by ribosomal RNA. And this RNA puts together the amino acid messages carried by mRNA and decoded by the tRNA. Okay. What is the main function of protein synthesis? It is done by ribosomal RNA only. So what is the function of ribosomes here? Ribosomes perform the function of protein synthesis. What is the function of ribosomes here? To perform the function of protein synthesis. This is all about the what? rRNA. The molecule of RNA, which is a component of ribosome organelle, is called a ribosomal RNA, and ribosomes perform the function of protein synthesis. Now, moving towards the third type of RNA, that is transfer RNA. Now, what is transfer RNA and how we write it as? We write it as tRNA. tRNA means transfer RNA. See in the picture, you can see in the word only you can understand. Transfer means what? To decode or to transfer the messages. Okay. So this RNA molecule, which according to the message of mRNA, means message who is giving? mRNA. So according to the message of mRNA, carries the amino acids to the ribosomes, is called as transfer of RNA. Means what? What is the function of transfer RNA? To transfer the ribosomes by getting the messages from whom? mRNA. And from getting rRNA from them, it is transferred. And this function is done by transfer RNA, that is tRNA. So there are three types of RNA, that is ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA, and the transfer RNA. These are the three major types of ribosomes. Okay. Now, moving forward to the Mendel's principles of heredity. Mendel's what? Principles of heredity. Now, who was in Mendel? What is the full name of this? So you can see in your textbook, the introduction part it is given. That is Gregor John Mendel. Now, who was he? Gregor John Mendel. His birth was what is its birth date? 20th July 1822, and he died on 6th Jan 1884. Okay, so Gregor John Mendel was an Austrian scientist. He was an Austrian scientist or an Austrian monk. He studied the inheritance of some characteristics of the pea plants. Means what? He has done experiments on mostly on the pea plants. Okay. Then he showed that inheritance of this characteristics follows certain principles. What they follow? They follows certain principles. And later these principles become popular by his name. So the Mendel's work was recognized only in the 20th century. When? In the 20th century. And after a reconfirmation of these principles, the same principles now form the basis of modern genetics. So, who was this George John Mendel? He developed the laws of inheritance. And Mendel works was not recognized until the turn of the 20th century. Before this, it was not recognized, but in the 20th century, it was recognized by all the nations and all the scientists. And then this principle of heredity was done, and whose name was given? Mendel's name was given. So he was the person that who had created the laws of heredity. Okay. So Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk, carried out important studies of heredity. Yeah. So characteristics that are inherited are called traits. In our previous lecture, I told you that the characteristics means what? The traits. So characteristics that are inherited are called what? Traits. So Mendel was the first person to succeed in predicting how traits are transferred. Mendel was the first person to succeed in predicting how traits are transferred from one generation to the next. Traits means what? The characteristics means the characteristics which are transferred from your parents to you, to me also. Okay. So this is all this done by the Mendels only. So a complete explanation requires what? For this, to understand all these topics, what we need? We require the careful study of the genetics. Okay. And all those things, how we can, the questions arise in our mind that how does this happen? That the characteristics from our parents, just like they are looking, their looks, their eyes, all these characters, their skin tone, all these characters are transferred to us. They are offsprings. Why? So all these questions answer you will get in the study of the genetics, that how the characteristics are transferred from the parents to their offsprings. Okay. For this, the Mendel who has done so much hard work. Now some are the terms which are which will be coming in this chapter, that are, first is dominant trait. Now what do you mean by the dominant trait? The trait means, you know, trait means characteristics. So now what do you mean by dominant trait? Students, listen carefully, huh? Then only you can understand. So dominant trait, a dominant trait is an inherited characteristic that appears in an offspring through a dominant allele and masks the recessive form of a trait. Means the original characteristics which is transferred from their parents to their, from their parents to the, which is transferred from their parents to their offspring. Okay, so this is an dominant trait. Now what is an recessive trait? What is an recessive trait? Now recessive trait is an inherited characteristics that appears in an offspring through a recessive allele, and it will only appear if the dominant trait is not present or inherited. Means what? Dominant means the actual characteristics which is transferred from the parent to the offspring, but the recessive means what? When this proper or a particular gene is not transferred to the offspring, then it is called as an recessive trait. Understood these two terms, dominant and recessive? Now, moving further to the next topic or the next term, that is genotype. Now, what is a genotype? Genotype represents a genetic constitution of a living organism, or in other words, the particular combinations of alleles for a particular gene or locus that one organism has. Means a particular gene which is transferred from the parents to the offsprings in the dominant trait, that is called as a genotype. Now, what is a phenotype? Phenotype is a visible and the observation or observable characteristics of an organism. And a difference between phenotype and genotype is that genotype is any inherited from the parents, but the phenotype is not. Means the original gene is genotype, and the gene which has been adopted or it is transferred, that is called as phenotype. Now, what do you mean by the homozygous and heterozygous? Homozygous means what? A homozygous is an organism with what? Two different types of alleles. Okay, no, not two different. They are having the same type of alleles. Okay, and what are the heterozygous? Individuals with alleles of the same type, or they are be two different types of alleles, then they are called as heterozygous. Homozygous means the same type. Heterozygous means two different types. Up till here, you understand what are those? Now, moving further, in the textbook, the picture it is given. See, the shape of a seed. It is all about the only linked with the, or it is given according to the plant, that is pea plant. See, genetic material is transferred in an equal quantity from parents to progeny. Now, principle of heredity are based upon this fact. If both the parents make equal contribution to the inheritance of characteristics, which characteristics will appear in the progeny. Mendel carried out research in that direction and put forth the principles of heredity responsible for what? For such inheritance. And the experiments performed by Mendel almost a century ago are quite astonishing. Means all were, so they were what? A surprise. And all the Mendel's experiments were based upon the visible characteristics of the pea plant. Previously only I told you that Mendel has performed his experiments only on the pea plants, and so on this basis only, what is the scientific name of this pea plant? It is what? Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum. And these characteristics are as follows. Now see how he has conducted the experiments. See in the chart, you can see here. Now, shape of the seed. If we are talking about the shape of the seed, what you are able to see in the dominant, it is round. And in the recessive, it is wrinkled. Yes. What about the color of the seed? It's yellow. In recessive, it is green. Color of the flower, in dominant, it is purple. In recessive, it is white. Shape of the pod, in dominant, it is inflated. And in recessive, it is what? Constricted. Color of the pod in dominant, it is green. And color of pod in recessive, it is yellow. What is the position of flower? In dominant, it is axillary. And in recessive, it is terminal. And what about the height of the plant? It is tall in dominant and dwarf in recessive. So, my dear students, these are the characteristics which he has find in his experiments. Okay, so dominant form and the recessive form. This is all about the what? F1 generation. Yeah, this is all about the F1 generation which he has performed in his experiment. So, when for more examples related to human beings now, the characters which I am saying, these are related to the human beings. Now, in case of dominant, what are the eye colors? It will be brown or it will be black. But in the recessive, it will be blue. See, in our surrounding, most of these human beings are having brown or black eyes. Yes, but most rarely we can see blue color eyes or green color eyes. Yes or no? The color of the lens. Eye size mostly we see large and small. It is seen in recessive. Most rarely. So this type of characters which we see, these are which we see rarely. It is in recessive type, and dominant means which we get directly from our parents. Yes. Now in case of chick, see in dominant, some are having dimples in their cheek. Yeah, some are having dimples in their cheek, and in recessive, Most of them normal. Yeah. Now rolling of tongue. Most of the human beings, they can roll their tongue, but some are there who cannot. So cannot, they will come in recessive. Normally we can roll our tongue, but in case of recessive, there are few human beings or persons, they cannot roll their tongue. Understand up till here? Now about the skin pigmentation also. Mostly in the dominant case, the skin pigmentation is normal. We can identify, these are the normal, but some are there in the recessive that are albino. Albino means whose skin colors are different. They are mostly whitish. They are looking so much different. Okay, so not fair, more white. Then they comes in what? In recessive. Okay, so now you understand what do you mean by the dominant and the recessive characters. Understand up till here? Yes or no, my dear students? Okay, now we shall study the following crosses to clearly understand the conclusions of the Mendel's experiment. Now we can perform some experiments. Okay, now what do you mean by monohybrid cross? Monohybrid cross. In this experiment, Mendel brought about the cross between two pea plants. Between two pea plants with only one pair of contrasting character. Contrasting means what? Different. Contrasting characters. And this type of cross is called as a monohybrid cross. Means the cross with only one pair of contrasting character is called as a monohybrid cross. You have to learn this definitions. The cross with only one pair of contrasting characters is called a monohybrid cross. Now, in this experiment, let us consider the characteristics of what? Which characteristics we will consider? About the plant height. Yes, with a pair of contrasting characters, that is tall plant or dwarf plant. These are the two conditions in if we are studying about the height. Maybe it will be tall or it may be dwarf. Dwarf means what? Small heighted. Now moving further. Yeah, moving further. Now see the parental generation first. Tall, we will consider tall pea plants and the dwarf pea plant were used in this cross, which one parent is tall and one parent pea plant is small. Okay. Now, hence this is a parent generation P1, first generation. Mendel referred to the tall and the dwarf plants as dominant and recessive respectively. Now, the tall plants was referred to as a dominant. Why? Dwarf plant were referred to be as an dominant. Now see, the cross between the parental generation P1 consisted of tall and dwarf plants, and these plants were crossed with each other. After crossing the plants, the F1 generation is obtained. F is for filial. F, you can see in the chart that there it is written F1. See it for what it is written? Filial. And all the F1 offsprings were tall and none of them was dwarf. You can see there in the table all the plants are tall. So the Mendel called tallness as a dominant character, while dwarf is said to be a recessive character as it was not showing its presence. So Mendel concluded that the factors responsible for inheritance of characteristics are present in pairs. Now these factors are called as what? Now these factors are called as genes. They are called as genes, and the dominant characters are written in capital alphabet. So for tall, what we use? TT. See in the chart, you can see capital, what we have used? TT, capital two T's, and pair of the genes of the one parents, which means what? They are tall parents. And small tt means a pair of genes of another parent who is small, dwarf. Okay. So here tt and tt separate at the time of gamete formations, and gamete of P1 generation, what happens when two T's are there? From that, one T is pairing with the another one. One capital, from two capital T, one T pairs with the small two T's. Okay. Then what we see in the picture, see the table here. You can find out there. You can see that which gametes or which gametes we have seen that capital T and small t are pairing. And we got that most of the plants in the offsprings, we got tall plants. What we got? tall plants. So all this is what, and this one more thing I want to know, I want to explain you that the experiments which has been presented by a Punnett square method. Punnett square method means what? This crosses, see, we have written TT, small TT, and all this mixing, all this, and the table at class it is present. It is called as what? Punnett square. And depending upon these observations, Mendel proposed that the factors responsible for inheritance of characteristics are present in the pairs. So up till here you understand, students. Now we can see the next part, that is in the P2 generation now. Where in the P2 generation, now the offsprings of the F1 generations were all tall. We have seen in the first Punnett square. Then even when one of the parents was dwarf and none of the offsprings were dwarf, एक ड्राफ्ट होने के बाद में भी कोई भी ऑफस्प्रिंग्स में कोई ड्वार्फ प्लांट आया? नो, ऑल वेर टॉल. सो ऑन this observation made Mendel to give principle of dominance and recessive. Now tall is the dominant character, whereas dwarf is the recessive character. Understand? The character of tallness hides the expression of dwarfness. Why? Because this character is more. That's why dwarfness is hidden. छुप गया. Then if the factor for tallness is absent, then what will happen? Only dwarfness is expressed. Okay. So tallness or dwarfness is an external appearance. This is called as what? Phenotype. The things which we can observe. It is called as phenotype. And whereas the genetic constitution, which is called as a genotype, the genes which we can't see. Okay. Now phenotype. So you can understand what is phenotype. It is an external appearance. And what is a genotype? The factors of genes or genes which are present in the F spring. So for the conditions, what we have seen in the F2 progeny, that when the two tall plants were crossed with self, then what we have seen, what are the genotype here? That two, capital T and this small t. So what are we, gametes we have seen? Capital T, small t, and capital T, small t. When they are fused together, then what we have seen, that we got three tall plants. What we got, see in the picture, we have got three tall plants and one dwarf plant. Okay, three tall plants and one dwarf plant. So from this, what you understand, that in the second filial generation, according to the data collected by Mendel, out of 929 pea plants, 705 were tall and 224 plants were short. So whose phenotype is greater? Taller plants. Yes or no? Yes. So thus the phenotypic ratio of this plant is 3:1. Means what? 3 tall plants, 1 dwarf plants. And what is the genotype ratio? Means TT. Purely tall plants are 1, hybridly 2, and small t means total and properly dwarf plant are 1. This is the ratio. Thus, it can be inferred that in the F2 generation, phenotypically there are 2 types of plants, whereas genotypically there are 3 types of plants. Up till here you understand, this is all about the monohybrid cross, where the only one type of parents we have seen. Okay, but when we have changed, we have crossed with the 2 another, then also what we get, we have got the ratio of 3:1, 3 tall and 1 dwarf. 3 tall means what? Dominant. The purely one TT is a dominant. One capital T, one small t, it's an not a dominant, it's showing the tallness, but it's not pure. Okay, and last one TT means small tt means it's an recessive, means it's an dwarf plant. So my dear students, up till here you understand what we have seen. We have seen about the monohybrid cross. So in our next lecture, we will study about the Mendel's experiment on dihybrid. Dihybrid means, or dihybrid means two hybrid crosses. Okay, so I want that my students should read this lesson thoroughly, solve that Punnett square, try to understand it, and then you can be easily getting this chapter. How this, now in explanation it looks or it takes so much time, but see how this all this process goes on in our body. Yes or no? So how this science is great and how the Mendel is great, that he has performed all this experiment to understand what is going on in our body and how the offsprings are produced. Not only in the case of human beings, but in the case of animals or the plants or the viruses or the bacteria. Yes or no? So for all this, what is needed? Study of genetics. And for this, all we should thanks to all our scientists that they have discovered all this. So now we are able to understand how this is happening. Yes or no? Yes. So my dear students, I am very thanks to all to listening me and trying to understand what I am taught you. Okay. Now hereby I conclude my lecture. Yes, ma'am, I have completed my lecture now. So I want that my students should read the lessons and learn the definitions which are coming in these lessons. And whenever you read these lessons, then only you can understand the topic. And for the semester exams, it is clear that these topics will come in your exams. Yeah, means short notes pattern or in brief it will be asked or in MCQs it can be asked. Okay. So read the lessons thoroughly. Yes, ma'am. I have completed my lecture now.